Howdy y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm James and this is Clearwater Fishing. Today we're working on our transom saver. We actually have some worn out rubber grommets here. Got some replacements. We're going to be replacing those today. I'll show you real quickly up close the grommets themselves, how worn out they are. They aren't really doing a fair service. Well, honestly, to the foot of this motor, they're actually causing some scratches. I'll show some of those pictures as well. Really don't like that, so I bought some replacement grommets here, replacement rubber parts to protect the foot a little better. Now these original ones, they are riveted in, so I'm going to have to drill out the rivets and then reinstall with screws. So we're going to go over that process. If your transom saver's wore out, then I highly recommend you go through this process. Now, a lot of people may ask why I'm not using a motor tote. Really, truthfully, it doesn't actually relieve your transom of any stress when you're driving. All the stress is still going on the, well, in this case, my jack plate, which is attached to the transom. We're not transferring any of the load directly to the trailer, and that's why I will continue to use a traditional transom saver that goes all the way to the trailer. But anyways, let's get this transom saver off, take a little closer look at it, drill out the old pieces, and I'll show you some of the new. Okay, so we're over here at the bench, got it all prepared. Now what we have here is the Atwood transom saver parts. I got this from Academy for $9. It comes with the 4 rubber pieces here. It comes with 4 stainless screws with 4 nylon lock nuts. So not really sure how the screws and the lock nuts are going to interface. I think I'm going to have to do some cutting, maybe with a Dremel kit, to cut the ends of the screws where they don't protrude so far. When we get to that point, we will adjust as necessary. But first, what we need to do is we're going to take off both of these so I can drill out the back sides of these rivets. We're going to take these 2 bolts out, and then we'll see how easy it is to drill those out. I already have my drill bits out. I think a 1/4 inch seemed to be the right size. So let me go ahead and let's take this guy apart. All right, so we got both of these pieces out. In case you were wondering, I think I took a picture of these earlier, but I mean, that's what we're replacing here. These flattened out grommet pieces with these big old hunkers. So, I mean, that's going to be a big difference here. So let's go ahead and start trying to drill these out. I'm just going to lay them flat here on my bench, and then we're going to go to the back side and see if we can drill this out. And of course it's going to be spinning, so let's see if we can stop the spinning. No. I'm going to have to think about how to stop the rivets from spinning. They're not tight in there anymore. At this point, they kind of look thin. I might be able to just use a screwdriver and pry them through. I don't really know, but I'm going to do some figuring out off camera. And then once I figure that out, we'll come back and I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so here is the method that I'm using. I've got this pretty large screwdriver. I am putting it in the edge of where the rubber grommet goes. I'm just kind of jamming it in there. Going to provide a little extra pressure against the rivet, and then I just go to town with the drill bit. So that's really all there is to it. And once you get it drilled, it should just kind of pop on out, just like that. So you have spinning rivets, just use a screwdriver, provide a little extra side pressure. I couldn't do enough pressure with my fingers. Maybe you guys could if you're stronger than me, which I'm sure many of you are. I kind of want to show you real quick the difference here. A very, very smushed one. Let's see, I'm trying to get my face out of the picture. And then kind of a new one here. So should provide a lot more protection here. So I'm just going to go ahead and drill out the rest, and then I will pick back up when I start putting these back together. All right, so before we continue, first I want to tell you guys a little hint. You guys need to memorize the way that these go on. Otherwise, you'll be spending some time trying to figure it out. So I would take a picture. They only go on one way. And next, I want to point out on the feet here, one side is thinner than the other. This is thicker, this is thinner, which means the screws only go on in one way. You have a longer screw and a shorter screw. So that right there should show you, hey, they only go on in one method. So after playing around with this, doing a little bit of experimentation, what we have is I have the big one ready to go here. We're going to thread it on through our hole. I put the screw in. I had to do a little force in there with the Phillips head screwdriver to make it line up pretty well. We want to make sure our grommet ends up being straight. So once we get this guy started, we'll make sure our grommet is on straight. Now, I'm going to just kind of start it with my finger. And I could not find a wrench or anything that would fit in this gap here. Even a socket was a little too big for this gap. So what we're doing here is we're going to wedge a screwdriver right there just to hold it tight while I start using the Phillips head screwdriver. And there we go. This is literally the method to the madness. So we don't have this perfectly tight, but the lock nut will hold it on. We do not want this really tight. We still want the little socket here to move and flex around a little bit. I don't know how well you guys can see the flexing there, but it's flexing just a little bit. So it should conform to the foot very well. Now we're just going to do the other 4, and then we're going to reassemble. All right, so here is the completed assembly. Just kind of show you guys real quick here. Look at how much tighter of a space we have here at the bottom now. So this should definitely help protect our foot a little more. Plus, we no longer have the rivets poking out anymore. So that's going to keep us from marring up the foot and taking more paint off. Should have already done this, so this is completely my fault. So I'm going to give you guys a couple comparison pictures before and after, and then we're going to wrap this guy up. Okay, so before we close out this video, I want to go ahead and announce the winner of April's Mystery Tackle Box. Rick Smith, congratulations to you for winning April's, I would say this month's, but it's actually last month's Mystery Tackle Box. Rick Smith says, I love MTB for the stickers and of course the baits. And the April box, the swim jig, would be my favorite. Well, that swim jig is now going to be yours. Rick, contact me in my email that is in the description below, and we will make sure we get you your MTB. We'll exchange some information and we'll get it to you. Now, as we close this video out, I want to show you guys some pictures real quick before and after as I talk about this. It is definitely keeping the motor further away from the gap in the back here. And we're not hitting on any of the previous spots that we were. We are about an inch further back on the motor, which is telling me that the feet are a little closer together and also going to give some more protection to our foot. I just didn't like the paint getting scraped off, and the rivets were definitely causing that damage. So I'm glad I did this. Should have done it earlier, but now that it's done, I feel, well, at least a whole lot better about doing any more damage to the paint job. So let me know in the comments below if this is something that interests you. Are you going to do a little bit of work to your transom saver to protect your foot and actually get a little more protection from your transom saver? So let me know. But I want you guys to remember, just like always, until next time, get out there and go catch you some fish.